the past that feel right. Hosting just jacks, we lift every voice. Re-entry with dignity, give people a choice. Restorative justice, repair what was torn. Conflict resolution, new trust can be born. Family reunification, bring loved ones back. Hosting just jacks, we stay on that track. Sitting with the hurt and the harm in one room. Let truth breathe easy so grace can bloom. Victim offender mediation, step by step. Teaching how to listen and make a safe rep. From cell blocks to classrooms, from courts to the street. Designing programs where real people meet. Community centers and facilities too. Building bridges that carry us through. 50 states traveled, a map full of skies. Showing how to journey with wide open eyes. Workshops and pages, your wisdom in ink. When the world needs mending, you help it rethink. Host of just jacks, we lift every voice. Re-entry with dignity, give people a choice. Restorative justice, repair what was torn. Conflict resolution, new trust can be born. Family reunification, bring loved ones back. Hosting just jacks, we stay on that track. Host out. When the lights fade low, the mission stays bright. Re-entry with dignity, we step toward the light. Restorative justice in motion, hearts reconnect. Conflict resolution with courage and respect. Family reunification, we open the door. Host of just jacks, keeping the circle square.
We did it! First Monday of 2026. Oh my goodness. Thank you guys. Thank you for being here. Thanks this lady, Miss Leslie Flowers, who just makes every attempt to shout out host every single week. She does a carousel. Go check her page out, follow her. And I put it on my page too. I also did a shout out post to her the other day because she takes the time to do that. And I was able to join 4 different rooms today as I was multitasking doing other things. So guys, thank you for being here. Oh my gosh, we've already got so many people. This lady is in the green room. She'll be coming up in a little bit. So excited. Meryl, thank you so much. Always such a joy to be here. I just love it so much. He is such a big fan of Melanie. He even private messaged me, excited to hear her tonight. I'm so excited for that. We've got our librarian. Thank you, Stephen, for being here. Jay, so great to have you. Javi, no, it's not a flip phone. If you guys know what this is, oops, it's upside down. Put it in the comments, but I'm glad you noticed. I danced with something today. It's a little different. Who knows this? If you're Gen X, you might have even had one. Why I have it, why I still have it, don't know. I'll talk about it in a second. Thank you for noticing, Javi, but no, it predates flip phones. Isn't that crazy? John, I saw you in a couple rooms today too. I got to tell you about this guy. If you don't know Kenny Dunner yet, oh my gosh, talk about lighting me up. He invites so many people to different shows, and he invites me to my own show every single Monday. And I just like smile and it just lights me up. I'm like, even if he doesn't send it to one other person, the fact that he wants to make sure I show up, I appreciate that. You are amazing, Kenny. You're scrumptious. We love you so much. And that's the thing, guys. These shows, whether you're watching it on replay, whether you're catching it on YouTube or LinkedIn or Facebook, these shows every single Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I have not missed a Monday yet since the 1st of April when I started the show. It is not, because I mean, y'all know if you've watched this before, I'd like to talk, but this is all about trying to make sure that other people get highlighted, that we start reducing some stigma, because we are going to talk about some crap, because there's a lot of crap going on in the world, and we do need to think about how can we make our worlds a little bit better? How can we be a little bit more mindful? How can we be appropriate and understand that we need to be part of these solutions? Because just focusing on your own business ain't going to cut it. Just focusing on your own family ain't going to cut it, guys. We have to do so much more. So, with that being said, I do want to have you take a minute. If you're on LinkedIn, it's Aaron Gibson. He also is on Substack, and he is on TikTok, and he is on YouTube, of course. He just launched the coolest thing ever. He is master musician, composer, videographer guy, and he did what's called the Project World Ceasefire, and he got people from around the globe to show different things that they want to know more of. And it's important to understand that we are all part of this, guys. So go check him out. Make sure you subscribe to his channels and watch the video all the way through. And you may recognize some people, especially if you're active on LinkedIn. You may not know one person, but just know that we're all in this together. And I hope that you can too. If you are struggling with some of the world events right now, some of the natural disasters, if the country you're tuning in from is in war, going to war, or having really rough situations going on, I want you to know that there are a lot of people everywhere that care about you and want you safe, and that are doing what we can to try to figure out how we can all be more part of the solution. So thank you guys for joining. I appreciate it so much. A couple things. If we're new together, if you're joining just because you know Fawn or you know Melanie that are a guest tonight, please give me a follow, connect with me, let me know who you are. I don't love first DMs that are pitch messages, but I love to get to know people. I love to be able to shout you out and be able to check who you are. Like, I've got a book right here. It's called The Secret Army, and this is by Gina. Gina is actually somebody that I met in somebody else's live show, and it was the amazing Bill. And Bill, if I wouldn't have watched his show, I would have never met Gina, or maybe I wouldn't for a long time. And now I have her book, and it's something that's really cool to me, is being able to hype other people and getting to learn from other people. And by coming to these shows and by supporting other people on the different social media platforms, especially LinkedIn, especially if they do have some kind of a business or event or a book or workshop that they're trying to promote, it can be a pretty cool thing. So if you've seen my posts lately, I post almost once a day. I did talk about how you can grow on LinkedIn specifically. And it's not just about sending pitch messages and just trying to connect with everybody. It's actually getting to know people. And it's by doing things like coming to these shows and commenting so people know you're there. It's about reposting, or it's about tagging some people once in a while, but don't go crazy on the tagging, especially if it's not somebody that knows you or that wants to align with your message. But you can go back and check out those posts. I also posted today was a very special day for me. Some of you guys know I am going through the kidney donor process to try to be a living kidney donor. And today is the blood test that is the crucial next step to see if we're going to be moving forward or not. And once we figure that out, then there will be another phase of more intensive physical tests on me specifically, and then we get to go forward. But if the blood test comes back that the potential recipient's blood rejects me, we're done. So if you are the praying kind, if you're the positive juju type, if you are the, I want to sprinkle rainbows and butterflies your way, please send them. Not because I need them specifically, but because I need them in order to be able to help somebody else. And it makes me happy when I help other people, because sometimes it's so much easier to focus on other people than yourself. And that's why the two ladies that are here tonight, they want to lift you up. They want to make your world easier, whether it's through the mindfulness practices, whether it's through coaching practices. And we're going to bring Fawn up in just a second. She is actually in Thailand right now, the country I want to go to so badly. The country that I believe my dear friend Noni is still in right now, visiting as well. but her signal, she had to be in a different location than she was expecting. So we're not sure how her signal's going to work. So we're going to bring her up quickly. And if she's able to stay with us, she will. Otherwise, we are going to reschedule her to a night when she gets back to the United States so that we know that she's going to have good Wi-Fi, because you're going to love her. Like, I got to listen to her do some presentations in some of the summits that Damien and Dr. Tanya do. And I just, I could listen to her for hours and hours. She relaxes me, even if she doesn't realize she's doing that just with talking. So I'm going to bring her up now. We're going to see how she does. She may literally just say, hi, here I am, so you can see her face. But we will definitely get her back as well. So here comes our dear Fawn. Hello.
Hi.
Why don't you try to just say a couple words just in case you get disconnected on us, okay?
I know. Well, Happy New Year, everybody, and thank you so much for joining in, and thank you, Jackie, for the amazing intro. And I hope one day you'll get here to Thailand, where I'm at right now. If you have a spot that you kind of want to visit, maybe I'll do that for you this time. and
Take pictures
report
and say,
back.
wish you were here.
Yeah.
Well, Fawn, I have your website and I have the information on how they can contact you. I'll make sure to put it in the comments unless you want to as well. And that way we can get you back when your service is great, when you are just able to rock star, because you're just amazing. And I know that more people need to know about you and all the cool things you do.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for all the kind words, Jackie. I'm really happy that I am able to join in today, and I'm really sorry that um, this is not the location I had anticipated to be when I scheduled the call today. Apology.
It's there's you needed to be where you needed to be right now, and we are so grateful to you. You did freeze up a little bit when you just talked, so I think it's probably a good idea to reschedule when you get back, but I will again make sure that you have all your information in there. And thank you for trying, and enjoy your time in paradise while you can before you come back here, okay?
Thank you. Thank you. Well, I'm gonna let you continue your show without my little delay connection here, and I, I'm not sure if I can even stay and listen with this connection, but I'll try to catch up later on. So thank you for bringing me in, and I can't wait to come back and have a full-on conversation.
I love it.
And I'm sending you lots and lots of love and positive energy your way for your process that you are dedicated to on this kidney donation.
I
You're
appreciate
doing
you.
something so amazingly, and you set such a great example for all of us. Even if we're not ready now, maybe something we might be considered later on when we actually there.
I appreciate you so much. Thank you, Fawn.
Thank you, thank you.
Thailand. Usually, one of my questions to guests on stage, and you'll hear Melanie's answer in just a few minutes, is where would you travel if you could go anywhere right now? Guys, I am in Michigan and I'm over here by kind of the bottom of your pinky, right up against Lake Michigan. It's cold. It's very cold. And I have wanted to go to Thailand probably for about 2 years now. It's been way up on my bucket list. And I'm so thankful that she's able to be there where she needs to be right now. And excited that Noni's there and I'm not there with her is not a good thing, but we're excited about that. So I want to thank you guys. I'm going to talk just a few minutes because there's a couple more updates that I want to give out. Last year, I actually, well, no, actually not last year, 2024. Oh my gosh, that's 2 years ago now, isn't it? I was in this lady's, two of her anthologies actually. One was in regards to like social media, and one was one of her legacy books. And it was super awesome. It was something that her two books that I were in were my third and fourth anthology that I ever wrote in. And working with her was just such a positive experience. I got to meet some really great authors and co-authors, got to experience her outside of my friend connection with her on LinkedIn to get to know her as a publisher. And her publishing business is Guiding Brilliant Writers. And so last year, she actually published this really cool book we choose more to be more than our diagnoses. Now, this is a special book to me because this little guy right here, and I see this, I don't know why I just froze up now. Okay, so for some reason I just froze. So let's see. If you can still hear me, I'm going to try to figure out if my computer is trying to reboot or what is going on right now. But I am here, so let's figure out what's going on with my camera. Can you guys hear me? Can you put it in the comments if you can actually hear me or not? Can you hear me? Okay, Melanie says she can hear me. Okay, we'll figure out. It's like my camera just wanted to freeze. I know my computer was trying to update earlier, so we're trying to figure out what's going on. So you can just listen to me for a minute, and then you'll get to see Melanie's beautiful face in a minute. But back to that book. My friend Jeff Van Dyke, he is literally here in my hometown, and he wrote in that book as a co-author. So it's super cool to me to be able to experience that with him, being able to see that he was a writer with one of my friends, which is super cool. And the fact that he did that is super cool. But Nick's got another one coming out, guys. She is going to be doing that soon. And she's also got a writing workshop. So if you've ever wanted to be an author, you've ever wanted to be in an anthology, Nick's going to put the link in her in the chat, or I will come back and do that. And we will make sure to okay, thank you, Gregory. Can hear too. Lauren can hear. Yay, thank you, guys. I don't know what's going on. I got this alert that your camera cannot be detected, and I'm like, I didn't do anything. I was here, I promise. But check in with Nick. She's going to post her information. If you want to write, this is the person to connect with, to have it be, especially if it's your first experience, and especially if you have that need to have somebody just kind of gently push you, but yet also be there to make sure that any of the issues that you might have are being resolved on that. So let's think about that. Let's think about what that looks like for you if you want to do that. I figured it out. Look at me go. Okay, so every now and then I do really cool stuff techie wise that I don't even know of. Speaking of tech, I shared this in my little song as it was going on. Did anybody write in the comments yet? Because I've been so distracted with the camera issue. Does anybody know what this is? Any Gen Xers out here? It's not a flip phone. Hi, Lion. Glad you're here. This is what was called, hopefully you guys had time to put it in the comments, a Palm Pilot. Guys, it literally predated a lot of phones. There was supposed to be a little stylus in there. You could look really cool. And it was basically a calendar that was electronic. It was so high tech. No, it wasn't, but we thought it was back then. So if you are a Gen X person and you are somebody that is not as good with tech as some people that do these shows, you might not realize what I got going on here because it's a lot of work. It's a whole lot of work, but we learn new things, and that's the cool thing. And no matter where you are, what credentials you have, how many times you've done stuff, things can happen. Now, what I will say is my dear friend Lion, he is like a pro. Absolute pro master teacher guy of any kind of video conferencing, things like that. Check out his page. And he was a guest here a while ago. He's got some really cool stuff coming up to try to elevate you in your tech game, especially if you're somebody that wants to give conferences or you want to do events, especially if you want to try to get them so they're actually a paid event. Definitely check him out. So the only reason that I found that old Palm Pilot, Miracle did it. Palm Pilot. I couldn't even figure out the name when I found it. I was purging over the weekend. So that's kind of my lifestyle, right? On a weekend. And when it's cold in Michigan, I just kind of hang out. And so I was cleaning. I'm like, what in the world am I doing with this? So I'm like, you guys got to see this. It's too funny. But when you think about some of the advancements and you realize just how much different stuff is going on in the world, guys, it can change in a blink of an eye. So whether you want to start your own event, whether you want to write in a book, start a business, do something, just know that you are making impact with other people. Just like we have Melanie, that's going to be coming up in just a minute. You're going to love her. I definitely want you to follow along with her. If you haven't connected with her, if you haven't seen one of her shows yet, she does a Monday show as well. She is 2 p.m. Eastern time. She had a lovely guest, Deborah, on there. I had never met Deborah before. Now I know her. That's what these live shows are about. So there's just so many great people here, and I appreciate you. Miss Leah was a guest not too long ago. If you guys missed last week was the end of 2025. So that was actually, hey, Eric, that was actually such a fun night. because Kinga came with me and she was co-hosting the whole time, and we talked about so many cool things, and it was really a good way for me personally to end the end of the year, because 25, it was rough. It was rough for a lot of stuff. And so that was exciting. Want to give a shout out specifically to David Causey, because he is almost always one of the very first people in this show week after week. He has not yet told me if he will be a guest with us someday, but he is in the comments. And I really appreciate that, because there are some people that just, we try, we get so busy, it just doesn't always work. And I totally get that. That's not an issue at all. But when you see people that are constantly making time and doing things, it's like, oh, they could be doing anything right now, and here they are hanging out with us. So it's always a great thing, and I appreciate that. Oh, great. I do appreciate you connecting that, because that name is not super familiar to me, Meryl. So I'll have to see if we're even connected yet. When I do this show, the comment section is open for you to network. It is open for you to go check out other people, because when people are coming here and they're commenting, that means they are active, and you probably want to get to know them, especially if you're watching on LinkedIn. And if you have a business, if you have a live show, if you have a book that's out, events that are coming up, put it in there. We would love to have that information in there. One thing I'm going to share that I'm really excited about. So Damien and I haven't set the date for the next Wishful Wednesday yet, but some of you guys know we started that back up in December. Maybe quarterly is kind of what we're looking at, but we're not positive. We'll hopefully circle back soon on that. But one of the things that I had asked is, one of my wishes was that I could get to 100 followers on YouTube, my YouTube channel. And guys, I got there, and I'm so thankful for it. And Melanie, that's coming up here, I just subscribed to hers, and she is so close to 100 too. So I want to encourage you guys. I'm going to send an early wish out that you also follow her YouTube page. So Melanie, if you have a chance to put it in there, feel free to do that. David, thank you so much. I appreciate that. The truth. I love that. You really are. I love that. Don't ever be shy. I mean, guys, shout yourselves out. You deserve to get the credit for this. If you would look up there where I got it posted right now, that is Melanie's YouTube channel. So you can do that. She's trying to go back and forth between LinkedIn and here until she starts talking with me, so she can have a little bit of help me out a little bit. So I really appreciate that. One of the things I want to share with you is that personally, my Just Jack's advising business is turning a little bit more into dating and relationship coaching. There's a lot of very unhealthy relationships out there. There's a lot of people that are feeling a lot of that aloneness right now, and it is changing them both a little bit emotionally, but also physically. And I want to try to be able to help people, because guys, I've been through a lot. I do not know everything. I am not a pro in the dating scene and the relationship scene by any means, but I've experienced a lot, and I've worked with a lot of people that have. So if you are somebody that is interested in learning about things like dating or making a dating profile or how to reach out to people, if you're kind of like, my relationship is kind of stagnant, we need a little bit of vibe and we need to kind of revitalize things, or we're just drifting further apart, I am focusing mostly on that on my TikTok page. So if you are interested in learning about that, TikTok is under my Tripping with Jack's name, so you're welcome to go there and follow me. You get to see a little bit different side of me, because I use words that I don't usually use on this show. But if that's something that's interesting to you, please feel free to do that. Okay, so I kind of talked a whole bunch. There's still more stuff I want to share. There's a lot of cool stuff that is coming up. So after Melanie talks, I'm going to wrap up a couple other really cool things, because I mean, it's the beginning of the year. There's so much cool stuff. But while we're getting Melanie up here on stage, I am going to ask, if you guys are willing, would you guys actually put in the chat something right now that has actually been positive already for you in 2026? Because I've already heard a lot of people that are struggling, a lot of sadness already. Let's try to fill the comments with positive things. Even if it's not for you, maybe it's for a family member or a colleague, maybe your puppy, who knows what's going on. But if you could put something that's positive for you or somebody you love or know or heard about in the comments, that would be super great, because it's important. It's really important to shout out good people and to have opportunity for other people to see some good stuff, especially when there's a lot of ick here. Are you guys ready for Melanie? I'm ready for her. Here she comes. Hello.
Hi, Jackson friends. Wow, what a pleasure to join you, and happy or at least peaceful, prosperous, gentle new year
Mm.
for us all. How about that?
I will definitely drink my tea to that because we need a lot more of that peace. And Melanie's show was at 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time today, and you use that word multiple times, peace or peaceful. And I am so excited to have you on stage. And one of the things Melanie and I were talking about in the green room before she got here was that she's been one of those silent followers. So if you don't know her right now, it does not mean that she doesn't know you. She sometimes will watch and watch before she even decides that she's going to check into stuff or connect with somebody or comment on a post. So if you don't know her yet, if you are not connected with her, you need to go check her out. Check out her business page on LinkedIn, subscribe to her YouTube channel, like I talked about, because when you start listening to her and you start seeing all the comments that she writes to support other people in their shows, you're going to be like, yeah, I need to be connected with her. So, Melanie, I'm going to start out with those same 3 questions I ask every guest, and then you get to take over and you get to talk all about the cool stuff that you want to share. And we'll check the comments to see if there's some questions for you as well. Okay. So, Melanie, I feel so tall. I love this. Sometimes my camera makes me look extra short. Sometimes I'm tall.
You are.
We'll pretend. We'll pretend. I'm a whole 5'3.5" right now. So we'll see what that looks like. But Melanie, we like to start out with learning about the person. And when I say we, I've got some people that come almost every week. They want to hear this stuff about you now instead of you learning about other people. What are 2 things that you are proud of for yourself? Things you have done that you are just so happy that you've done.
One of the not so little things, and I'm really grateful. One of my besties who I went to college with, she kept saying, I was a workaholic, and she kept saying, Mel, you've got to have a family. And I said, I adore you. I said, but I don't want someone else to raise my children. So I chose deliberately. I'm the auntie, I'm the godmother. And what was not an accident, our dear friend who suggested this, she passed away almost 30 years ago. And her youngest came and lived with us for 3 years. So we helped him get out of high school. So it was a real reminder as I laughed, as I taught him how to say prayers and wish and talk to mom on stars. And the real reminder, the concept of guardian angels, and really to help him tap into energy at the age of 9. Really just, I think as I'm watching him now, as he just proposed in person, and he proposed during a surprise party, and his beautiful fiance has just released her first album. So I think in terms of, I'm proud to be the cheering section, because sometimes we need to remember all of that amazing energy. And I really want to thank Jackie about being a kidney donor, because one of my first cousins just got his kidney last year, and his sibling just got approved to put the go bag in the back of the car and to stay within 2 hours. So I wrote it in a post to you, but I think that's the thing. The pride of being part of the cheering section. We don't always have to be up front. We don't always have to be on stage, but I always call it a fragile world. We're here to hopefully shine light, and that part I think I'm really proud of, that other people feel the light. I didn't always feel it internally. So I'm grateful that the shine is coming through to others.
I love this so much.
Gabe, I am drinking water. Water. There's champagne from the new year that I haven't opened. I think after Jackie and I talk, I'm gonna finally open up the bottle.
I love that. And you deserve to, whatever your bottle is. Oh my goodness. So when you shared that, I had all kinds of emotions, because not only did you share about the death and the peace and being able to cultivate that, you also talked about the proposal. And my son proposed to his fiance just last month. And it just kind of gave me all those warm and fuzzies again. It's like, there is a lot of good that did happen last year, even when we do focus a lot on the not so great stuff. And so thank you for putting that little reminder back in for me.
And his mom was there. That proposal was public. It is on tape. It is on
Oh,
Meta. It's still on my phone. It'll be on the YouTube channel as a private family video. We
that's so
cannot
cool.
wait. Cannot wait. And his brother will be his best man. So I think that part of not realizing the role of being a cheerleader, everyone needs them.
Oh, look at Sean
Everyone.
Michael. Sean Michael staying up. Usually he's very busy at this time because I want him on stage too, but he made it for you, Melanie. Isn't that cool?
I appreciate Sean and Leslie and Mike and Kenneth and Jay, all the different wonderful energy. And thank you all for doing what hopefully, as Jackie said, and Leslie does it, will hopefully light up and make this a lighter, brighter, less fragile world.
I love that so much. I love that so much. So you've had, I mean, just listening to you, I talked about Fawn. I just love her voice. It's so calming. And when you look at her and she teaches you about her meditation and some mindfulness, you just kind of like, oh, this is so relaxing. But you have all this experience yourself, Melanie, and your voice is just so comforting while you're dropping this knowledge already. You're already talking about great things. And I love that so much. So glad that I started being able to try to get to your show a little bit more often because it's like daytime shows are very difficult for me, but I miss so much by not being able to see them. So thank you for using your voice and being able to not necessarily need to be that light all the time, but yet you are that light, even if you are in the background. And so, even though you have all this experience, you already rock your own live show, you do so many things for others. We're always learning. We always have to keep growing. Otherwise, this thing doesn't always get as excited or work as great. So, are you willing to share with everybody something that you're working on right now, something that you are growing in right now?
There is a book coming and you're going to laugh. So, one of the things I had to learn, and Meryl Cass will crack up, I say, as the daughter of the scholar, we always have a couple of projects on the stove. And the book that I named 4 years ago, that I just updated the outline as I'm getting ready to prepare that advanced trust facilitator certification project. There's a writer in here, and I never used to let her out to play. And 2026, as Jackie was saying, is the year of letting her out to play. And I want to thank Kimberly Lechnick for being here. And I'll meet Lachelle Atkins, America's Supermom, this weekend. We started with their, Think Well and Journal for 21 days on Clubhouse. Really started the habit just of pick up the pen and put it to paper and let it keep on moving because someone somewhere, as Leslie helped encourage and encourages many of us, they need to hear what we think,
Yes.
what we feel, and just be reminded that they're not alone.
Oh, you are so right. I love that you said you have this writer inside you, and sometimes we don't give ourselves permission to do the things that we're excited about. Other than yeah, we'll get to it. We'll get to it. I love that for you, and I love that you're going to meet Lachelle. Like she was so active in the audio rooms back before LinkedIn removed the audio rooms. I never was a Clubhouse person. And so when she would get on and talk about having as many kiddos as she has, I'm just like, is this real? Is this lady a real deal? And now you get to meet her. That's so exciting.
I met Lachelle in a women's entrepreneur group on Meta with 300,000 women entrepreneurs. And Lachelle was the first one to answer a question about what networking group book was she reading.
Wow.
And that led to hanging out with her on Clubhouse. And it opened up really a whole new world and helped loosen up the vocal cords. We sometimes, years ago, an amazing actor, Ving Rhames, went to high school with him, and our high school no longer exists. And Ving says, Millie, you need to be a writer. And I moved so far from that. So it's really kind of fun that I think it feels like coming full circle in a way. What we move from, what we embrace, what we don't always create the space for.
Oh, that's so cool. I love that. I'm excited. I love that you had your book title before you've even taken time to sit down and write. I actually want to write a book about my dad, and I have that book title too, and I've had it for quite some time. My dad actually, it's been 11 years since he passed on, and one time I was checking his laptop, and he would play like games on his laptop because back then you'd have the CD in that you could play in and stuff. And I found that he was working on trying to do like a little side hustle, and he was never able to do it. But I saw the name that he created for the side hustle, and I'm going to turn that name into the book about him. So it's I love that, as you're talking, we have some parallels. And Fawn, who was on here a minute ago, she's in Thailand, and that's my dream place. And so I am going to ask you that next question, and that'll be the last of my questions. Guys, if you're out there and you want a question for Melanie, this is a time to hook her up. Put a question in there. Still want to see some positive things that have going on for some of you guys in 2026. I know a lot of you are multitasking, or you might be falling asleep by now, depending on what time zone you're in, but we want to hear from you guys. We want to see what's going on in your world for you. But as we're talking about the world, Miss Melanie, if you could travel anywhere right now, with or without family, friends, for work, for not work, whether it's to visit somebody, not visit somebody, no matter how much time you had, no matter how much money it costs, where would you go right now?
I'm ready to return to Moorea in Tahiti. One of those 30 to 60-day transatlantic, trans-Pacific crossings, so I can head over to see Lanier Johnston and the linkability community in Australia. So something that hits Australia and New Zealand. A little bit of Bali in there, perhaps. Another chance to go back to Moorea. And when I was on a cruise that ended up in Hawaii, in Honolulu, I was too sleepy at the end of the cruise to properly enjoy Honolulu. So I want to go someplace that stops in Honolulu for like 2 days. Let us cross the date line. Let us cross the equator. Maybe get somewhere close to the Panama Canal and watch the locks,
I love how I asked you one place and you just basically covered the whole continent or the whole globe. You had Pacific, you had Atlantic.
You said dream big. You said no
I
budget.
love it.
You said
I
no
need to
budget,
dream.
and you said no time. I am ready in 2027 to become a digital nomad.
I'm ready for it all. I am ready for it all. Please pack me in your little suitcase or hook me up so I can come visit you sometime because I'm all about that. I did the Panama Canal cruise. I did that last year. It was almost at this time. It was the end of January. I came back the beginning of February. It was 16 days. Went all by myself. It was amazing. It was amazing, other than all the work issues that happened while I was gone that long and had to deal with. So, when I go on a cruise, as long as you just dreamed, I will hopefully not be working at that time, and hopefully somebody will pay for it for me because that's the thing too.
I'm willing to work. We can go live on Mondays when it's not a port day. We can take care of some of the spa specials when those days at sea.
I'm on it.
I can curl up with some of the fabulous books that Nick and others are, and Annie and others are publishing and reading. And, we've got a pile of those here as a daughter of a scholar. Got a pile of books.
We can also sit down and spend a little time actually writing ourselves for both of our books that we've already got titles on.
That's right. I need a little bit of a balcony and we'll be set. Just a little bit of a balcony.
Okay. I'm okay with that. If you need a balcony, I'll probably get an inside room because then it's a little cheaper and then I can go sit up somewhere else. Otherwise I'll hole up in my room and not go be social.
But actually the balcony, and I smile because Meryl Castle was asking me about the supermoons, the chance to really come to peace in a sense, to kind of center, curl up, and celebrate life, and good place to pause with gratitude.
That's so cool. That's so cool. So Miss Elizabeth says it's a silly question for both of us. Do you have a toy that you never got growing up and you still think about? I have never had somebody ask me this question. Isn't that an amazing question?
I love it. The toy
Ooh,
that I always wanted when I grew up, and I saw it once, a friend had one, and we played with one, I think in Girl Scouts. There was a toy where you could kind of make a candle out of the sand. So there was,
ooh.
it had food coloring, there was sand, there was wax. It felt like a chance to create almost like a sand sculpture out of a candle. And I wish I could remember the name. Now I'm going to be looking and we'll probably find it on eBay somewhere.
I love that. Well, actually, the way technology works, your cell phone will probably pop it up in the comments or in the scrolly page here pretty soon. Elizabeth, that was an amazing question. So, I was really big into Barbies and I was into like strawberry shortcake dolls. I was into the Smurfs. I was into all that classic 80s TV. And I was one of those Cabbage Patch girls. So I had my parents did that whole, I don't think they tackled anybody, but they stood in those lines back in the day to get me a Cabbage Patch doll. And I wanted more things. I wanted more Cabbage Patch dolls. I wanted more items, more clothing. And my one of my aunts, she was actually my great aunt. She did a side business because she was super good with like sewing and quilting and all the things. When Cabbage Patch was so popular, she did a side business where she made Cabbage Patch clothes. She made horses for the Cabbage Patch dolls to like pretend ride on. She did all the things. And I was very fortunate for that. I did have to toss the horse not too long ago because it ended up being in a basement that got musty. Um, but I still have my two Cabbage Patch dolls. So when I think of things that I missed out on, I feel very fortunate that I can still go back and still have some of those. I mean, again, guys, I have a Palm Pilot still. I need to purge probably more. I probably don't need those Cabbage Patch dolls, but when I found them, it kind of brought all that nostalgia back. So I think I would have just wanted more Cabbage Patch or Barbie dolls.
Don't feel bad because I have a palm still.
Do you?
Because
Does it work?
actually, I haven't tried it, but it was one of those ones where you have like, we call them now the SIM cards, the memory cards. There were pictures on it from the very first exhibit we did in 2007. I kept I kept the phone just on the off chance. You talk all the time. We talk all the time about events, and the very first event we did, the first two events, they're both on that phone.
Wow. I didn't that's very cool. I love that so much. So Elizabeth, just for you, I will get them out of a box, not tonight, but I will either show them on next week's live or I will send you a picture of them because I still remember my first one's name. Her name was Molly. My second one, I cannot remember her name, but guys, I still have all the little stuff in the box and everything. Y'all found out something about me you never needed to know or whatever. Isn't that hilarious? Um, David remembers. Oh, a Care Bear. You know what? I never had enough Care Bears. I think I only had one. So I agree. I would have loved that too. Oh my gosh. Melanie, let's turn it over to you, my dear. We'll look and see if there's other things. You did not want a Care Bear. Oh my. Oh, you did want the Care Bear. You didn't want the Cabbage Patch. Okay, I reread that so wrong. That's funny. Melanie, let's have you do some talking. Talk about who you are that wasn't in the discussion. Talk about a little bit about your business and some of the different offerings that you're about to do. I know I put your website up. I'll do that again, but I know you mentioned that it's kind of under construction. You're
It
making
is so definitely under construction. The
bigger.
writer has been writing for decades, and my amazing team is helping me with the help of AI. We're one of my themes of 2026. So last year is the first year that I didn't have a word of the year. I probably had word of the year for decades. So last year I picked Simplify and Amplify, which was an invitation from a coach I had worked with a while ago. And this year we're adding the word distill in front of Simplify and Amplify because
Hmm.
I think that's become the interesting part in the trust journey and in the part of becoming a coach is really being in sacred spaces where we're able to share. And as a kid, someone broke my self trust. And as my dad helped me remember a bit after, that's what turned me into a writer. Started picking up the phone. My dad wrote a letter to my brother and I that And I think you popped 22 months as I was trying to work on my dad's celebration of life program. And I said, Mom, I need something dad wrote. I need something dad wrote that I haven't seen. I need something of dad. And my dad had written a 6-page paper about being in almost the equivalent of a race relations incident when he first went to Europe because of the time with which he was raised. Pop would have been 90. And it was a writing of the things that you don't say out loud. And that really, my book will be Brave Conversations About the Undiscussables. It was a presentation I did for some friends. They wanted me to speak about microaggressions during the pandemic. And I said, what about brave conversations? There's things we don't necessarily say out loud, we don't say to ourselves. And the really interesting part now is now that I'm certified in trust. Ooh, I love that word.
No, right?
Proof. Bring it.
It's
Because,
amazing.
but I think that's the thing. People, we change as a kid who had my trust broken. And it's interesting now, years later, to say I'm now certified in trust. It helped me approach the trust journey. And I'm really grateful for my small and mighty team. And Carla will laugh because we finally have more visible videos on the YouTube channel than the 40 that were behind the scenes when she and I started working together 4 years ago. So everything, I think that's one of the things is we're not sure sometimes what to share. There's that line of which platform we're on. I'm admiring that Jackie's on TikTok, and I'm admiring it as this week people are like, wow, what happened to you? I haven't really heard from you. And I gently said, in our conversations that we're having across cultures, across generations, across identities, we can't be present on 5 or 6 platforms and
Mhm.
aware with our families in life. So sometime, and I really appreciate 4 people who asked me this last week, how are you? I didn't respond immediately to a direct message. I didn't respond immediately to a phone call because sometimes in their brave conversations, the invitation I'd love to share is one of self compassion, one of self empathy, one of self love. We don't normally make that time. And I think it's one of the things my pop is cheering me on. And as Jackie would say, I now reformatted that book. So it'll be a love letter to Pop.
That is so cool. That is so cool. So Nick's asking, what is one non-negotiable for this year, Melanie?
A non negotiable this year
Something
is
that you
really to really embrace what I didn't realize was a talent for creating sacred spaces, is
mm,
to move from my mission of ignite trust to the cultivate trust that you now see under my name. Because cultivate trust, want to plant seeds, help others plant seeds so that they're a bit more comfortable in their own skin, with their own teams, in the different roles that they have, the different identities, and sometimes in spaces where we don't see a welcome mat and we don't see the door open.
mm. Whew, deep stuff, but yet you're just so calm as you talk about all this stuff. Even using the word
Oh,
microaggressions, you're just, and that's one of the things that I wanted tonight to be because last week was kind of Kinga and I were just, bah, 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 and it's like, whew, it's the start of the year. It's so interesting too because I never ask guests to like be a guest because somebody else is on that day. I literally send out what day works for you. And so I had a little bit extended time off from my day job, and I ended up extending it to my side business, which is part of this show. And I did not respond to people on dates quite as quickly as I should have. So there were a couple that I had to switch around. But it's always interesting how the right people seem to be on the right show today. And I never thought about the first of the year show needing to be something with 2 people that just had these beautiful voices that were just going to keep me, because I bounce all the time. You usually see me, and everything like the beginning of the show. But have you noticed I just have a little bit calmer vibe, even though I had the tech issues with the camera a minute ago? And I know it's you and Fawn, just that energy you guys have. And I think more people need that because we are so caught up in that hustle. We're so caught up in that technology. And I love that you shared that you did take that break and you took time to do what Melanie needed to do or Melanie's family needed to do. And that's not something we always do. So I appreciate you doing that and sharing with everybody and making sure people know that it is okay to do what you need to do, even if other people aren't going to love it, because that does happen. Oh, poor Nick. She's just like, yeah, it's tough. So my TikTok is tiny. Like it's little baby. Like I just hit like 550 people and I had a goal. I think it was the end of November to get to 250. So I have almost, well, I just over doubled it in like a month, but it's still so baby. So I stopped using a couple platforms. I barely use another one. I'm still there's still more good than bad in LinkedIn world for me. Meeting people like reconnecting with some people. Martha and I spent a little bit of time on the phone this weekend. There's just been some people that I just love talking with, and they just kind of disappeared. And there were people that were taking too much of my time that weren't maybe lighting me up the way I do when I help other people or I get involved in other things. So I am being more intentional this year myself about where I'm spending my time and who I'm reaching out to instead of waiting for them to reach out to me. And I think that kind of aligns with what you were talking about, making sure it is a peaceful year.
I
Melanie,
used to answer 400 calls a day. And that was one of my first jobs in the garment industry before I became the gifted incentive lady and engagement lady, and before events became a part and the coaching. I think one of the things that made it easier was I was answering calls from salespeople who were trying to reach buyers or calls from leadership trying to get stats and information. Everybody had a priority. Everybody needed something. And I think it can help us lean in as active or deep listeners. That part I really appreciate because that girl's back. But it's a reminder too, you can move away from it. But Kimberly Lechnick and I'm going to thank Kimberly who helped me really tap into pockets of peace in her clubhouse community.
mm,
We need to create that and be around people who help us amplify them because otherwise we forget to breathe.
yes. Oh, I don't know if you can see this or not, but my tattoo down
Oh
here
my goodness, yes.
is Just Breathe. And
Uh,
I got that shortly after my dad passed because I'm the helper in the family, the helper everywhere. And not many people would say, "Hey, Jackie, are you having a bad day? Is everything okay? You seem a little different." It was just, "Jackie, you got to deal with all this and do this and stuff." And my dad was really the only one, even though he had a lot of physical and emotional issues. He would check in on me. And once he got a cell phone, he would literally text, "Just breathe. I know you're having a bad day," or "Just breathe. I know you're really anxious today." And so now it's on my arm. And it's just, again, you were meant to be here tonight. Who knows if you would have been a different week if we would have talked about some of the things that are so similar to us. I love that.
and I have to thank you for finding a picture of a glass that had peace on it. You took me back to a place because sometimes we need to go back to a place.
Mm,
That was a place before dad's vascular dementia accelerated. That was a place where you could hold a glass, where you could remember and cherish. And people who laugh all the time about the virtual toast, that's where that girl was born from. Raise a glass, honor someone. And Elizabeth, thank you so much for your comment about Pop. And I hope we have a chance to connect and talk about it sometime. But I will remember that as
mm,
Kimberly Lechnick and I hang out on Wednesday and get back to our writing accountability.
I
So I
love it.
really want to thank you. It's not always simple, it's not always easy, but I remember Ving Rhames telling me in high school, you need to write. I didn't realize it was a gift. It was an opportunity.
That's so cool. Melanie, it has been a joy with you. I could keep talking to you for so much longer. Did you see Lauren's word is breathe for this year? Did you just see that? Isn't that amazing? Oh, I am thankful to you. I am thankful that we connected. I'm thankful that I started seeing you really support in the lives and on some of my posts. I love that you were doing that sneaky watchy thing to make sure that the people you're taking time with are actually legit people, because I think that is important. I have learned from you today, both in your show and here tonight. And I
Jackie,
think
it's also a sign of self trust that sometimes we need to hear something through a different lens to really pause and digest it, not just respond to it. So it doesn't always mean the lurkers or the silent that we're not paying attention. We're paying an incredible amount of attention before we buy, before we say hi, before we say thank you. And thank you, Jackie, and guests for the privilege and the honor of joining
you are
Jackie and Friends
amazing.
tonight.
I will talk to you soon. Thank you, thank you, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Did you hear that? Like, you're taking care of yourself by pausing sometimes and by being a little bit more silent. Somebody like me that has this crazy little ADHD brain and a lot of energy too much sometimes, I need to hear that more often. I need to hear that more often. Not that I don't listen. And I have, I'm very fortunate that I have a memory that's really, really strong. And sometimes I need to think about being a little quieter. Some people wouldn't recognize me if I do that, though. A lot of people think I'm angry when I'm quiet. Isn't that interesting? So I want to thank Melanie so much. I want to thank the people that are in the comments tonight. I mean, you guys are great. And Elizabeth, Kimberly, I know you guys are so supportive of Melanie, and I can't thank you guys enough for being here, because this show just doesn't always work for everybody's time thing. But she said your guys' names so many times that I think it's time one of you two or both of you two decide to get on this show as guests. Guys, it is equal opportunity. As long as you're going to come on here and not disrespect another human, I want you on stage. You deserve to be highlighted, whether you have a business, whether you're looking for a job, whether you are in retirement and you don't want to do anything but say hi to people. I'm good with whatever you want to do, as long as you want to come on the show. And like I said, not disrespect anybody. I saw this comment from Elizabeth, which is hilarious. She talked about needing Nick, I need to do live comedy. Well, guess what? Next week on Just Jackson Guest, it's going to be kind of a comedy show, actually. I have not just one, possibly up to 4 comedians coming on Just Jackson Guest next week. So it's going to be totally different. One of them has been on the show before, but it was months and months ago, and he's bringing some of his crew with him, because they are actually going to be doing a comedy for a cause, supporting my day job nonprofit agency that we are definitely still hurting from some of the loss of funding. And they're going to do that here in our town the end of the month. And so we're going to give them the stage and let them get us all laughing and talk about why they take time to help nonprofits and stuff. So I usually don't talk on the show who the guests are for the next week. But since Elizabeth put that on there, I'm like, it's a good time to come back next Monday. Guys, I appreciate you so much. I am so thankful that you took the time to come to the show. You may watch it on replay. You might have wrote a comment. You may have shared the post. Every single Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Once I find out where I'm at in the stage for the kidney donation, that's kind of, my life is kind of on hold right now for that. Once I find out what's going on with that, then I plan on opening times of pre-recorded sessions, because I have a lot of people in different time zones that have really piqued my interest about trying to get them on stage, or they've asked to be on stage, but they've asked to do it at different times. So I will be reaching out to those that are just like, man, I would like to be on stage, but I can't be visible at that time. We're going to figure that out. So feel free to message me, connect with me if you haven't, and make sure that you're connecting with Melanie and Fawn. Fawn will be back. I promise you, you don't want to miss her. I am so understanding of what went on for her. And of course, I could fill the stage for talking too much. So thank you guys for letting me talk and talk. Please send some messages to Fawn and Melanie if you have questions, if you want to follow up with them. Let me know if you have questions, or if you want to be a guest on Just Jackson Guest. Please, please, please feel free to also subscribe to my YouTube and follow my TikTok, but only if you want to see a little bit different side of Jackie, because it's different than what you see here. You still get a lot of my energy, but like I said, it's mostly dating, relationships, all the stuff that sometimes LinkedIn and YouTube might not want us to talk about. So it's real, it's raw, and it's something that I hope you enjoy. going to play my outro now. Going to try to check the comments tonight or tomorrow. If you don't get a response from me, I apologize. Feel free to send something in a direct message to me. Thank you guys so much. See you next week.
Let's go. Oh, yeah. Hosting just jacks, we lift every voice. Re-entry with dignity, give people a choice. Restorative justice, repair what was torn. Conflict resolution, new trust can be born. Family unification, bring loved ones back. Hosting just jacks, we stay on that track.